Hi, I'm Umair Amal Khan, and in this lecture, we're going to talk about teaching writing skills to ESL learners using technology. How to practice and how to implement this in your classroom or in ESL classes. What is the level that where we are teaching these reading or writing or speaking or the listening skills? It is usually from the beginner to the intermediate level. But what is the purpose of this or what is the objective of this class? By the end of this lesson, the students will be able to write a cohesive paragraph using appropriate grammar, vocabulary, and sentence structure with the help of technology tools. Materials required for this is computers or laptops with internet access, projector or smartboard, and similarly, you need word processing software like Microsoft or Google Docs, and the grammar and vocabulary referential material can be online or it can be offline as well, and writing prompts as well. Okay, for 10 minutes it would be a warm-up activity for your students, and for my students, if I'm teaching in my classes, I'll begin the lesson by asking students to write a short paragraph. It can be a short paragraph. How students have spent their life. How or what is an unforgettable incident of their life? What is memorable incident of their life? Talk about a road traffic accident. Talk about a visit to a hospital, or like these topics will be assigned, and the students will be asked to write a short paragraph. This will include 3 to 4 sentences about their favorite hobbies, or can be the activities, or can be the other tasks as I just told. Pen and paper would also be used. Okay, have students pair up and exchange their paragraphs, instruct them to read their partner's paragraph, and provide feedback on grammar, vocabulary, and clarity. You just ask their class fellows to check one another's paragraph, so that they can get feedback from their class fellows first, and then they can just see how grammar is being used, how vocabulary is being used, either the content is being clear or not. And after this peer review, ask a few volunteers to share their partner's paragraph and provide a constructive feedback. Ask them to provide feedback after the end of the after the end of the reading as well. Okay, introduction to technology. All right, this will be a 5 minutes activity. All right, introduce the concept of using technology to enhance writing skills. Just discuss how technology can assist in grammar and vocabulary checks, provide instant feedbacks, and help organize ideas effectively. For example, of word processing software, and explain the features such as spell check, grammar suggestion, and word count. For example, if you are using MS Word or PowerPoint, with the help of these tools, whenever you just write two words together, it just underline, and it just highlights the text that there is something wrong, there is some problem with it. So you just right click on your keyboard, and then it gives you the right answer. So you just click on that, and then your mistake it is being corrected. So there are different kind of errors. When there is subject verb agreement error, it can be another kind of error when your grammar isn't right, when spellings aren't right, when the sentence structure isn't right. These kind of mistakes can be corrected with the help of this technology, like Microsoft Word. Or it can be spell check. If your spellings are wrong, you can just check spell check, and then it can give you. And similarly, word count, it is also MS Word is also helpful for counting your words. Okay, technology demonstration. Display a live demonstration of a word processing software such as Microsoft Word or Google Docs using a projector or smartboard. Okay, you can just turn on your laptop, and you can just turn on the projector or the multimedia, or you just turn on you just open Microsoft Word. You just give them a demonstration that this is how you're gonna write, this is how you can compose something, this is how you write, this is how you edit, this is how you use this software, this is how you use this application in order to content, in order to write, in order to create a content. So these can be used, you just give them a demonstration, you just give them, and you just guidance about how to use this Microsoft Word or PowerPoint, and then students, they have an idea that how to use this technology, and you just guide them how to check spellings, how to check other grammar features, and other and word count as well. Explain these tools so that the students will be able to use, and student will be able to utilize this in their daily life. Okay. Vocabulary and grammar review. Introduce few vocabulary and grammar concepts that are relevant to your writing task. For example, if you're teaching tenses or transitional phrases, transitional devices, or the adjectives, or maybe the adverbs, or maybe the conjunctions, or can be any other topic. You just introduce some of the vocabulary words, and similarly some grammar concepts, so that the students could have a better idea and understanding that what kind of writing task can be they can be assigned. You just give them different sheets, or distributes different papers, so that they can write. If there is, some rule that is being, you just explain, and that is there written there in their writings as well, so that they can quick review it. Okay. Use online sources such as ESL websites on interactive grammars tools to review these concepts. Students can also use other online resources as well, in order to rectify the information, or in order to check the grammar as well. For provide examples and have students practice using the concepts and sentences. You just ask your students to practice these concepts, and they use them, and they create their own sentences in their daily life, so that they can be a good learner, so that they can be a good speaker as well. Writing activity. Now the actual activity. Distribute a writing prompt that you have just or that you already have with you. It can be any, you can just take a newspaper cutting, you can just take a magazine cutting, you can take an article, you can take one short story, you can take, and you can take anything. You can take anything. All right, you just distribute it to your students, or you just display it on a screen. For example, describe your dream vacation destination. For example, write about a memorable childhood experience. Okay. Instruct the students to use word processing software to write a paragraph 5 to 6, and based on given prompt. You just give them a clue, or you just give them idea that you just need to write, or you just give them short text. For example, once upon a time when I was at the age of 10 year, then how students they begin with their writing, and you just give them clue, and you just give them some vocabulary words, so that they can use those words in their writings. They can be a better writer. All right. Encourage students to use technology tools demonstrated earlier for self editing and improvement. Circulate the classroom and provide assistance as needed. Okay. Peer editing and feedback. Now you just ask your students to exchange their paragraph with their partners, and instruct students to read, review, and their partner's paragraph. You just ask your students whatever they have written, so they can share with others, and the other student will be able to first they will be the examiner. First they'll be reviewing their paragraphs, focusing. They'll be focusing either the grammar is right, vocabulary is right, coherence and cohesion, clarity is okay. And students should use the comment or suggestion feature of the word processing software to provide feedback. You need to let your students know how to use this feature of commenting, highlighting the text, and similarly underlining, how to bold the text, and how to change the color of the text. You just need to make yourself students aware about these, so that your students can be aware of them. Then your students can utilize these when analyzing, or when editing, or when they are just checking the others paragraph. Encourage students to ask questions and have a discussion to clarify any doubts. So students can also ask questions. You just need to encourage them if they have any questions, so they can just clarify and rectify it. And finally, the revision final writing, it should be of 10 minutes. Instruct students to review the feedback received from their peers and make necessary revisions to their paragraphs. You just ask your students to review the feedback receive from their peers. You just ask your students, so that whatever their class fellows have written on their sheets, or they have told them verbally, just review them and take necessary precautions or take necessary revisions so that their paragraphs can be corrected. Okay. Students should save their final revised versions and print a hard copy to submit the document electronically. Now student can get them a hard copy for themselves as well, and can get this for their teacher as well, or they can also submit that in electronic form as well. And lastly, you just have 5 minutes for your for their assessments. Collect the final revised paragraphs from the students for assessment. Assess the paragraphs based on grammar, vocabulary, coherence, and clarity, and provide individual feedback and suggestions for improvement if there are any. Okay. And the conclusion, summarize the main points covered in the lesson. When you are just teaching, just summarize whatever you have just discussed. Discuss the benefits of using technology in writing tasks. What kind of benefit? When we were talking about writing activities, we just read that if you are using Microsoft Word option, so you have different options. You can add, you can add tables, you can add pictures, you can add, video as well. You can also add, you can bold the text, you can underline the text, you can highlight the text, you can comment, you can review, you can spell check, you can, there are different grammatical features as well. So multiple, functions of this. Only a single Microsoft Office is there. So similarly Microsoft PowerPoint has different available options, so you can use that as well. Okay. Encourage the students to continue practicing their writing skill using technology outside the classroom. But this is not over. Extension activity, that's an optional. Assign students to create a blog post, story, or letter using the same word processing software, and have students share their writing pieces with the class or publish them on a class blog if available, or if there's a group, so they can post it there as well. All right, the duration of each activity can be adjusted based on the class time available and the needs of the student. That's all. Thank you so very much. I hope you have enjoyed this lecture. Thank you.